Good evening, Dr. Morse, injury experts. What a long day of football. Started at 9:30 Eastern Time and it ended about 5 minutes ago, just past 1 a.m. on the East Coast. Now, there were some crazy games today, a bunch of upsets, and a bunch of just good games. Some shootouts, some curious calls, and unfortunately, some injuries. There was a ton of guys injured coming into the game, and there are a handful, at least that we know of, are already injured. Do me a favor and check out this advertisement, and then we're going to talk about the injuries.
Looking to up your game in sports betting? Meet OddsJam, your ultimate ally in the world of data-driven wagering. With over 260 sportsbooks under its belt, OddsJam is the go-to platform for savvy bettors. Here's how it works. OddsJam's arbitrage tool scans the market in real time, spotting differences in betting lines across various sportsbooks. This means you can lock in risk-free bets by betting on both sides of the market. But that's not all. OddsJam also provides a positive EV calculator to optimize your bets and a handy bet tracker to optimize your profits. By using OddsJam, you're not just betting smarter, you're betting responsibly for long-term profitability. And here's the kicker. They offer a 7-day free trial. Ready to give it a shot? Use the code MORSE, M-O-R-S-E, for a 35% discount on your first month. Secure your bets with confidence. Make informed decisions with OddsJam.
All right. Thank you very much for that ad and the support. So the first injury I actually want to talk about is from Thursday night. Now, it may be nothing, but Drake London reportedly have a rib injury. He was super excited and walked off the field and was kind of having a good time, and he has extra time. So we will monitor this as we come up next week, but it's definitely at least something to monitor. He had a fantastic game. For the games today, we saw two players get injured this morning. And the first one, unfortunately, was kind of a big deal. Aaron Jones suffered a right hip injury that could have been anything from a hip flexor to a hip pointer to a hamstring injury. Now, he did grab the back of his leg. I was watching the game, and he did not look like he could kind of get going on the sidelines again. And then they ruled him out, and Ty Chandler got almost all of the volume after that. And then later on in the game, Aaron Rodgers suffered multiple injuries. One time, I believe, is to his left knee. It looked like a mild MCL sprain where knee was kind of stretching. He was hobbling a little bit. And then after the game, he admits to having a low ankle sprain. He came into the game with a knee injury as well. So we'll have to see how that plays out over the next week or so. Heading into the Week 6 buys, just to give you an idea, is Kansas City, who plays tomorrow night. The Los Angeles Rams, who played earlier. The Miami Dolphins, who also played earlier. And the Minnesota Vikings, who played this morning. So Aaron Jones would get a bye next week, whereas Aaron Rodgers would have to play next week. The Miami Dolphins suffered another concussion, this time at the hands of Devon Achane, who landed pretty hard. It looked like he might have tweaked his rib as well, but that is a moot point because he was unfortunately ruled out with a concussion. Didn't give fantasy owners many points. Now, this was relatively early in the game. Mostert had a fantastic game. Jalen Wright was rushing really well, and Alec Ingold actually got the touchdown. They have a bye next week, and we did see Odell Beckham come back. I don't think he did anything all day, but at least he came back from his off-season knee injury that we don't really have any idea about. The next injury was to Xavier Legette, who I thought was going to have a decent day, but unfortunately suffered a minor shoulder injury that sounds like it derailed the rest of the game, but has a chance to potentially suit up in Week 6. Tommy Tremble, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers took a massive shot and reportedly in the concussion protocol. Gabe Davis also injured. I did not see what it was, but we'll keep an eye on it. He's been very disappointed. And man, is Brian Thomas Jr. legit. Whew. He is looking incredible. We saw a potentially significant injury, or at least one that's going to cost him a couple weeks, in the form of Zack Moss tonight, or early this afternoon, when he kind of similar to Joe Mixon a couple weeks ago when he had that high ankle sprain, secondary to when the guy kind of landed on his foot, kind of going like that. So, they ran the ball 3 times at the end of the game and then settled for a 50-something yarder, which, obviously didn't end up working out, and they ended up losing in overtime. And so it'll be, interesting to see, is this actually a high ankle sprain? Did he get super lucky? When did the swelling start? And then they'll have to see. Chase Brown looked really good in certain times and very explosive, but is he going to get the full workload? We will have to see. Hopefully, we should have answers in the next 24 hours. Rhamondre Stevenson reportedly suffered a knee injury, but I did not get to see it. He actually had a pretty good game. Gibson did okay. And overall, just kind of an unfortunate play at the end of the game where the guy's toes were inbounds, but because his heel was out of bounds, it was ruled an incomplete pass, and therefore the Patriots lost the game. The last injury I want to discuss, there was no injuries in tonight's game that I'm aware of. CeeDee Lamb was locked down pretty good by Joey Porter Jr. And there was a couple injuries early throughout the game, but they were predominantly to offensive linemen and defensive players. Although Ezekiel looked like his shoulder was bothering him before the game started. Let's talk about this potential Josh Allen injury. I was watching this game. He took a huge shot and just banged his head on the turf, and then the end of the series, he was on the sidelines, and all of a sudden you see someone handing him like what we call smelling salts, which are ammonia. I had to use one on a patient the other day. They are really strong, and you definitely wake up and kind of get going again if you were not feeling the best. But I just don't know if they had enough time to evaluate him for a true concussion, and even so, how the heck did he clear that protocol? I did a deep dive in this video. Feel free to check it out, but they need to look into this. This, regardless of the results of the game, who the player was, this needs to be evaluated. There'll be more players that pop up with injuries over the next couple of days, as they always do. But as of right now, that's the current list for Week 5 heading into Week 6. Thank you for tuning in. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're watching this on Twitter. Also, do me a favor and just head over to our YouTube channel and give us a subscribe and a like on the video. Thank you very much. We will see you on Wednesday for the preview to Week 6. I will try to give you as many individual videos throughout the week to give you an idea of who to sit, who to start, who's concerning. Be sure to post comments below to let me know who you want to hear about. Run over to the injuryexperts.com. We have full injury histories. We have all types of different things to look for, including injury reports. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.